Today you want to give for which subject?
Sir, fluid mechanics.
Again fluid.
Yes, sir.
So can you let me know what questions were asked to you in the previous snap?
You asked about, sir, boundary layer theory and why why we study boundary layer in 2D and why turbulent flow is study or not study and shape of the boundary layer. This yes, sir.
Okay, so mostly it was boundary layer concept.
Yes, sir.
Mostly it was focused on boundary layer concept.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you tell me the basic fundamental difference between streamline, pathline, and straight line?
Yes, sir.
One fundamental difference.
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking you about the definition.
Sir, streamline and strict line.
Streamline, pathline, and straight line. What is the
Okay, sir.
fundamental difference between the all, among the all?
Yes, sir. Sir, streamline is instantaneous picture of the fluid flow in which at any point if we draw the tangent that will represent the direction of velocity. Path line, it is the path which is traced by joining the path.
I'm not asking you the definition. That's what I told in the beginning. Don't tell me the definitions.
Only difference.
Just tell me there is only one fundamental difference between the three.
Okay, sir.
What do you think that is?
Sir, streamline is instantaneous. Yes, sir. Path line is over the period of time we trace it. And straight line is also the instantaneous. It changes instant to instant.
Okay. So this is the difference?
Yes, sir. It is also distance.
Okay. So, okay. So can rotational and irrotational flow coexist?
Yes, sir.
Where?
Sir, in the boundary layer, sir. Inside the boundary layer, there will be rotational flow, and outside the boundary layer, there will be irrotational flow.
Okay. Any practical example? This is the concept of boundary layer. Okay, that within the boundary layer that will be rotational, outside it will be irrotational. But
Yes, sir.
within a flow, in a flow region, any practical example you have?
Yes, sir. In the river flow, it is also, sir, because, for example, uh, if it is flowing between the foot of the bridge, after exit from that foot, there will be some in the bank of that foot, there will be some rotational kind of fluid flow, and in the center there will be some irrotational fluid flow.
At the center, it will be irrotational.
Yes, sir.
Where at the center?
Means, sir, between the, sir, let's say foot of the bridge, sir, between center in.
I don't think so. What you are telling. Okay, no issue. Do you know what is volumetric dilation?
No, sir.
Volumetric dilation rate.
Okay. The dilation, I know, sir, it is the change in volume of body.
So volumetric dilation rate in context to fluid mechanics.
Sir, I can guess, sir. Can I guess?
Yeah, you can.
Sir, I think, sir, it may be the rate of change of volume of the fluid element.
Rate of change of the volume of the fluid element.
Yes, sir.
Then that will be the rate of change of the volume is not the volumetric dilation rate or the volumetric strain rate. That is dou V by dou T. That is rate of change of volume with respect to time.
I'm not getting it, sir.
Do you know linear strain rate?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
So it is the rate of strain in a particular direction. For example, sir, if I consider the x direction, then change in length in x direction, strain in that x direction per unit time.
Then now tell me volumetric strain rate.
So it will be the rate of change of volumetric strain.
Yeah, means the way you have defined linear strain rate, you can also define volumetric strain rate.
Yes, sir. Sir, volumetric strain means change in volume to the original volume, and the rate of change of volumetric strain it will be yes, sir, volumetric strain rate.
How they are correlated, these two?
Yes, sir. Sir, volumetric strain rate is equal to strain rate in x direction plus strain rate in y direction plus strain rate in z direction.
Okay, so why do we study it in fluid mechanics?
Because sir, in fluid mechanics, whenever in a fluid flow, there will be deformation of the fluid element in x direction, y direction, and z direction also, sir. So there will be complete, sir, volumetric change of the fluid element.
No, means, okay, that is okay, but generally there is no linear translation of the fluid element. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then why are we studying it?
Sometimes we consider, sir, velocity in particular direction is a constant, means, sir, function of means velocity in a particular direction is variable in that direction only, sir. It is not going to change in any other direction. Sometimes we analyze in that sense also.
Now that is also not the practical significance of it. There should be, means if you are studying any parameter, it should give you some understanding of the what is actually happening. So that is what I am asking. That if you are calculating volumetric strain rate or you are studying it, and you are right that it is a summation of linear strain rates in all the three directions. But okay, finally you have calculated some value. Let's say you have calculated some value. What it will tell you? Okay, so let's say volumetric strain rate is 5.
Yes, sir.
What is the value of that 5? What is the significance of that value? Okay, so why we study rates in fluid mechanics?
Because, sir, in fluid mechanics, on applying any type of load on the fluid, sir, that's why the rate of deformation becomes important.
Your voice is not coming to me properly. It is
Sir, 1
cutting.
minute.
No, I think your internet connection is weak. It is showing red color.
Now it is okay, sir.
Yeah. Now what you were telling?
Yes, sir. Sir, in a yes, sir, fluid element, until unless force is present, the deformation tend to continuously change, sir. That's why, sir, rate of deformation becomes important.
Okay. Okay. So do you know what is a wake region?
I don't know, sir.
Wake region you don't know?
No, sir.
Okay. So do you understand what is the difference between bluff body and streamline body?
Sir, in streamline body, uh, there is a smooth curve of the body, sir, such that fluid will always flow fluid will flow attaching to that curvature, sir. In a bluff body, if there is sudden change in curvature, then fluid will separate from that body. It is flowing over that body, sir.
So if it separates, then what will happen?
If it separates, sir, there will be irreversibility will form, sir. Means fluid element will uh, flow like, sir. It will uh, rotational kind of. It will flow, sir. Fluid element.
What? Pardon? What you have said?
Sir, if the fluid separate from that Bluff body,
Hmm.
then there will be, due to pressure difference, fluid element will form, sir, vortex kind of motion will form there.
Where?
Uh, Region where the, sir, fluid is separate from that Bluff body.
So then what is the wake region?
I think,
If
sir,
you know, if you know this, then why you are not able to tell what is wake region?
sir, actually I have never heard about the wake region, sir.
Do you know Strohal number?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's say I take a streamlined body. Let's say I'm taking an airfoil. Okay, it is a
Yes, sir.
streamlined body.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So have you heard about this effect known as stalling?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Stalling means, sir, fluid element will flow attached to that curvature. If the curvature suddenly changes, then fluid will start
Fluid
separating.
element, fluid element will be attached or flow will be attached?
Sir, fluid flow.
Uh,
Yes, sir. So, sir, in stalling, sir, fluid due to the curvature of the body, fluid flow will start separating from that body, sir.
then
Then there will be some irreversibility will be formed, sir.
no, that is not stalling. It,
Sir,
yeah, what are you telling?
sir, fluid flow will start separating from the body due to the large curvature of the body. Sir, it is this is the stalling phenomenon. Sir.
No, that is not stalling. Okay, last question.
Yes, sir.
So you might have heard this that for a steady flow, all the streak lines, path lines, streamlines are same.
Yes, sir.
Why they are same?
Uh, Sir, in steady flow, sir, fluid properties will not change with respect to time. So, sir, initially, what the uh, path of the fluid that will remain the same throughout its flow, and velocity will not change, sir. Therefore, there will no any change in the path line, straight line, and they are will be identical.
Oh, that was my question. You only just told that sir, fluid properties will not change with time because of steady flow. And after that, you told that sir, fluid path will not change. This doesn't answer that why they will be same.
Yes, sir. Sir, let me think. Sir, if the flow is steady, uh, then it's streamline means, sir, streamline gives the, sir, velocity of the fluid. In steady flow, there will no change the velocity of the fluid, and streamline throughout the time will be same. And the and path line is the fluid path line. By the definition, it is the path which is traveled by the fluid over the time. Since in a steady flow, over the time there will be no change any fluid velocity. Their direction will be same. So streamline path line will be same, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Monish, I'll conclude your interview.
Yes, sir.
So, uh, uh, मोनीश ठीक है बेसिक वीक नहीं है बेसिक ठीक है अच्छा है
Yes, sir.
बट कुछ क्वेश्चंस बहुत गलत बताते हो और कुछ में तुम कुछ भी एक्सप्लेनेशन देने लगते हो विच इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड एंड दैट एक्सप्लेनेशन इज आल्सो रॉन्ग so if you do not know then you can simply say I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, like what I was asking you related to stalling conditions, stalling exact बिल्कुल गलत बता रहे हो. but you are saying गलत चीज को भी बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस से बता रहे हो,
Yes.
राइट? वो मत करो, अगर नहीं आता है तो सिंपली यू कैन से दैट्स सर आई डोंट नो,
Yes, sir.
राइट? सो okay, so first question I asked you related to the fluid kinematics, that I was asking you volumetric strain rate. So
Yes, sir.
वो नहीं बता पा रहे थे, then you gave linear strain rates. Then you told that okay, volumetric strain rate तुमने बताया sum of all the linear strain rates, change in the volume per unit original volume per unit time. So इसका physical significance है that it lets you know that your fluid is incompressible or compressible.
Okay, sir.
अगर तुम्हारा volumetric strain rate, if it is coming out to be zero, then that means change in the volume is coming out to be zero of the fluid element. So that's why you can say that the fluid is
Incompressible.
Otherwise, if the volumetric strain rate is not is equal to zero, then your fluid is compressible.
Compressible.
This is the major significance of volumetric strain rate, why we study it, which is also
Yes,
known
sir.
as bulk strain rate or volumetric dilation rate. All are same names,
Yes, sir.
right? Right. Then I asked you what is a wake region. It is a very important concept. I'm surprised why you didn't tell it, because you were explaining the difference between the bluff body and streamline body. So in the streamline body, the fluid adheres to the shape of the streamline body and does not separate easily, right?
Yes, sir.
And whereas on the bluff body, because of the shape of the bluff body, the boundary layer separation is there and the fluid layers easily separate. So when
Yes,
they
sir.
separate on the other side of the body or on the rear side of the body, they will form a low pressure region where this swirling of the flow happens, you can say, or even you can say a low pressure region is made on the rear side of the body. So that is basically known as your wake region.
Sir, actually, I am not remembering that what is that term that I use for that swirling of the fluid.
Okay, so swirling of the fluid is not known as wake region. Swirling of the fluid is basically eddying, right?
Yes, sir.
But that region in which that swirling is happening, that is your wake region. And that
Okay,
is
sir.
responsible for creation of the pressure drag,
Yes, sir.
right? Because on one of the side pressure will be low, on the other of the side pressure will be high. So there will be a very huge pressure drag on bluff bodies as compared to that in the streamline bodies.
Yes, sir.
Then same concept is applied in the stalling condition, because in the stalling condition is that the aeroplanes or the airfoils, they are generally operated at a higher angle of attack. So when
Yes,
the
sir.
angle of attack is higher, then what happens is your pressure drag decreases and what we say that the stalling has happened, right? Or
Yes, sir.
the plane starts to fly at a lower height like that.
Yes, sir.
Uh, then what was the final question?
Sir, why in steady flow, path line, straight line are same?
So yeah, so after that you told it in a right manner that why they are, because what will happen that for steady flow, velocity at any point in a flow will not change. So consequently, streamline shape will not vary from one instant to another,
Yes, sir.
right? Now
Yes,
that means that any particle which is located on that streamline, it will also keep on moving along that same streamline,
yes, sir.
right? And this is the basically your definition of the path line,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And further, if I say that if I take a bunch of the fluid particles, consecutive fluid particles which are passing through a fixed point in a space, they will also lie on the same streamline.
Yes, sir.
So that is the definition of a streak line. So that
Yes,
is
sir.
why all they remain identical. But you also gave the wrong fundamental difference between among all three. You said that sir, streamline is instantaneous and streak line is also instantaneous, you said,
Yes, sir.
and path line is time. Streak line is an instantaneous snapshot of a time averaged flow. So
Okay,
we
sir.
cannot say that it is an instantaneous thing. It has also a time history associated with it, right?
Yes, sir.
So the main fundamental difference is that the streamline is an instantaneous thing, but the path line and streak line, they both are time history. They have a time history associated with them. They are not instantaneous,
Okay, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So मोहनीश, अच्छा है, कॉन्सेप्ट खराब नहीं है, गुड, योर कॉन्सेप्ट इज गुड, बट एक तो चीज कि डोंट ट्राई टू आंसर क्वेश्चंस रॉन्गली, इफ यू डोंट नो देन पास इट,
Okay,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
And second thing is that I would say that little bit do more study of the concepts, uh, like you should not commit blunder in the basic question, like what is wake region, right? Or what is the fundamental difference between stream path and streak line, right?